Good afternoon, scholars. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to your Vista Virtual Lit class. Got a lot of great news and great work to share with you guys today. So let's start with the first bit of great news, which is our incredible turn-in rate, 76%, guys. That's a 20% jump up just from yesterday. And I think yesterday's jump was like a 16% jump from the day before. So I'm so proud of seventh grade. You guys are really outworking yourselves from a few weeks back, but you're also kind of killing sixth grade right now. So great job, guys. And because so many students are doing their work, I have a lot of different student samples for today. All right. Let's take a second to check our work. So again, kind of collapse this window a little bit, put it off to one side of your screen, and pull up your answers from yesterday so that you can compare and contrast your answers to the ones I'm going to go over. So take a second to do that now. Pause the video, pull up your work next to this window. All right, let's check it out. Deasia Jones, welcome to class. We've missed you. Glad that you got your Chromebook and your first assignment that you turned in. I'm using two of your answers because they were just really clear and to the point and correct. So how did Dave and Solex change when it's time to work and run? Deasia said that they became really focused and ready to work, and they don't, let anything else distract them from their work. They seem to really enjoy it. And what does Buck learn about being a sled dog? Who teaches him? Deasia, your answer was better than mine. My answer was just very literal. He learns to not get the traces all tangled up. You kind of went deeper with it. You said that he learns that to be a sled dog, he needs to be focused and hardworking. And he learns that really from Dave and Solex. And she says that he reacted from that they teach him, Dave and Solex teach him this by setting a good example by how they react when it's time to run. I noticed that when Buck got the traces all tangled up, Dave and Solex both gave him a trouncing. They both kind of beat him up as like punishment, to show him, hey, we don't do that. And it says he never did it again. My number 3, my answer comes from Nevaeh. What does Buck learn from Solex? She says that Buck learns from Solex that he should be aware all the time because people don't have the right. I think that's from yesterday. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to keep that in there. What's that? Let me check real quick. That seemed like a yesterday question. Yeah, that was from yesterday. My bad, guys. But Nevaeh, it was good work yesterday. All right, let's look at this. Yesterday's assignment was just the 2 questions and then the ASAC response. So let's look at some of the ASAC responses. So this one, I was going to use, my bad, guys. I wanted to look at Imani's. This was kind of a tricky question, guys. And oh, that's right, Nevaeh. I was going to use yours and Imani's. Let's go to Nevaeh's. This question was, we looked at that scene where Buck woke up in his like little hole bed and kind of freaked out for a second because he didn't know, he felt like he was in a trap. Weird thing was Buck's never seen a trap. Buck's never been in a trap. So how did he freak out like that? Nevaeh said that she thinks Bucks reacted that way of getting scared and realizing that he needs to be tough. She thinks he did it. He had the instinct to just react because that's one of his teammates would technically how his family would. This shows he's becoming a real wolf, kinda. So yeah, Nevaeh argues that he's becoming more wild, and these are his instincts that are coming out. Imani, who's just been crushing it lately. I'll just take a look at some of Imani's. Just glance at her answers. Look how much writing is there. I'm not saying more is always better. It's not, but Amani's work is good. She's getting full points. She's really explaining herself, and she's even providing evidence when I didn't necessarily ask for it. So let's look at Amani's. Look at her ASEC response. She said, Buck reacts this way because he's never been in a trap. It's new to him. So he's taking out his nerves because he's not used to, he's never been in a trap. It makes Buck become more wild, right? This is kind of what Nevaeh was saying, in that he's becoming more like a wolf. She also put out the evidence that of Buck and his, he's losing his civilized manners. She says, she gave the quote about, how he reacted with his muscles contracting and his hair standing up and he's, snarling. And she said this quote represents how Buck is reacting to his new life. This reaction explains how Buck is changing. He has always been an outdoor wild dog and not a house dog. The new Buck is a wild outdoor dog, who is experiencing new traps and a new life. And with all of this, Buck isn't able to control his instincts because he's never needed to use them till now. I kind of hit on the same thing in my exemplar. Let me pull up April. Yeah. So I said, but that Buck's instincts took over the moment he woke and he felt like he was in a trap. Buck had dug himself, and I'm giving context to catch you up on what I'm talking about. Buck had dug himself a sleeping hole the night before because it snowed. Because it snowed in the night and Buck was still groggy, he awoke and felt like he was in a trap. He momentarily panicked, even though he had never experienced a trap in his own lifetime. Quote, it was a token that he was harking back through his own life to the lives of his forebears. For he was a civilized dog, an unduly civilized dog, and of his own experience knew no trap, and so could not of himself fear it. Here's my analysis. Buck's reaction came from something deep down inside of him and from his ancestors long ago. His instincts kicked in to protect him from something he didn't know he needed protecting from. Animals in the wild follow their instincts every day. They don't know why they hibernate, migrate, run from predators, etc. They just do it. Their instincts are like automatic programs to keep them safe. Now that Buck is in the wild, like his ancestors, his instincts, never used in his former life, are kicking in. So there is my take. Buck's kind of wild nature is starting to come out. Nature is what's bringing it out. I want to take a second to give you guys. Let's look over today's. Lesson. We're going to pick right up where we left off, like always. If you are reading the PDF on your computer, start at page 21. If you have the book, you're on page 15. If you need the audiobook minutes, I included that in the assignment instructions. Some quick questions. What does Buck learn about food? What is happening? This is your most heavily weighted question for the day. What is happening to Buck's morals? Your morals are your sense of right and wrong. What's happening to Buck's morals and what's causing them to change? Another quick 2-point question. What's happening to Buck's body? And we've got 2 multiple choice questions. Number 1 says, which of the following are responsible for the changes in Buck? Choose all that apply. So it's going to be more than 1. It might be more than 2. It just says choose all that apply. Here's my focus and my push for both of these multiple choice questions. And you're going to need to actually write this focus of the day down at the top right here where it says focus of the day. I'm going to start giving a really specific focus for each day's lesson. This focus is going to help you do well on that day's assignment. It's going to be based on what Ms. McKinney and I noticed from your work the day before, and also what's being expected of this day's lesson. I'm going to give you the focus of the day. You need to write that focus right there in that box. This lets me know that you got the feedback, and it also lets me know that you're watching these videos, because these videos are your instruction, right? The students who are watching the videos are doing much better on the assignments than the students who just go straight to the assignment, because I'm kind of setting you up and explaining things that you need that are going to help you be more successful. The students who are being the most successful are the students who are watching the videos and then going to Miss McKinney's office hours every day from 2:15 to 3:15. So I'm going to give you a focus of the day. You need to write it down in this box. When Miss McKinney opens your assignment that you turn in, she's going to look straight at this box. And if you don't have anything written down, she's going to send it right back to you. And she's going to tell you, watch Mr. Johnson's video so you know the focus of the day. Um, if you have the wrong thing written down, she's going to send it right back to you. And that assignment will not be graded until you watch the video and write down the focus of the day, right? These videos are about 15 minutes long, guys. You've got all day to watch them. Don't skip them, all right? So this is how we're going to make sure that we're watching these videos. Your focus of the day today is, with these multiple choice questions specifically, make sure your answer selections have evidence, okay? They're going to throw some options at you that sound like they could be true, but there's actually no evidence to support it. So make sure that the evidence, that the answers that you do pick, there's actual evidence to prove it, and you're not just going off, yeah, that could work. That sounds right. Make sure there's evidence for the answers that you pick. Okay. All right. Let's do a little bit of reading together, and then I will leave you guys to it. We picked up right here. He swiftly lost. It had just been talking in the previous paragraph where we left off about how Buck was always hungry because he's a lot bigger than the other dogs. He's also just the other dog's just more used to this life than he is. That Buck never seems like he got enough food, but that the other dogs seemed fine and they get less food than he did. What are we reading for? The question we're reading for is, what does Buck learn about food? He swiftly lost the fastidiousness. Someone that's fastidious is picky, guys. Um, he swiftly lost the fastidiousness which had characterized his old life. A dainty eater, he found that his mates, finishing first, robbed him of his unfinished ration. There was no defending it. While he was fighting off two or three, it was disappearing down the throats of the others. To remedy this, he ate as fast as they, and so greatly did hunger compel him, he was not above taking what did not belong to him. He watched and learned. When he saw Pike, one of the new dogs, a clever malingerer and thief, slyly steal a slice of bacon when Perrault's back was turned, he duplicated the performance the following day, getting away with the whole chunk. A great uproar was raised, but he was unsuspected, while Dub, the awkward blunderer who was always getting caught, was punished for Buck's misdeed. So, in that paragraph are actually a couple possible answers for what Buck learns about food. All right, keep reading. You just have a few pages today. After you answer this question about food, you're going to answer the question about Buck's morals, his sense of right or wrong. How are they changing, and what's causing that to change? All right, you guys enjoy these pages. Have a great rest of your day. Again, I'm so proud of our high turn-in rate. So keep it up, guys. See you tomorrow.